that's Granny Takes a Trip. We're just down the road, we're just across the road from there. It's this place with the World's End Distillery, which is still going strong. And I said it's called World's End because the end of the King's Road, but not the end of the world. But anyway, that's across the road. And just very near there is this place now, a betting shop, Paddy Power. But it used to be a pub called the Wetherby Arms. And the Rolling Stones live just down the road in Edith Grove, and we'll show you that in a moment. But they used to come here to rehearse at Wetherby Arms. But also here, they auditioned bass players. They had a few bass players before, but wanted a permanent one. And it's here that a guy called Bill Perks turned up, who became Bill Wyman. Now, they didn't really want Bill Wyman particularly. They wanted his amp. A huge amplifier, much bigger and louder than the rest of the band had. Took one look at his amp and heard it and thought, yes, you're in. So, well, the amp was in, and of course Bill Wyman came with the amp. But he became the bass player for the Rolling Stones and stayed with them for, 20 years or more. That's how they met Bill Wyman. It's the Wetherby Arms. And just down the road from there is this number 102 Edith Grove. And Mick Jagger rented an apartment, I think it's on the middle floor. That's where his apartment was. And Keith Richards and Brian Jones lived here as well. Mick Jagger was actually studying at the London School of Economics at the time. Yes, he got quite straight, really, in a way. But Brian Jones was supposed to be working at Whiteley's department store in Bayswater. Apparently he was caught stealing from the till and was fired, not surprisingly. When the Rolling Stones had just started going, they were playing at the Crawdaddy Club in Richmond at the time. And in April 1963, the Beatles came along to see the Rolling Stones at the Crawdaddy Club. And they actually became great friends. And the Rolling Stones invited the Beatles back to a party here at Edith Grove. And it was absolutely squalid place. In fact, they recreated the flat at the exhibitionism at the Saatchi Gallery, including the smells, and boy did it smell bad. It was a student hole basically, and I never did any washing up, didn't clean any clothes. Apparently they were here over the winter of 62 to 63, when one of the coldest winters in British history. Apparently they used to chop up the furniture to make for firewood. So there's no heating, and apparently the water froze. Absolutely horrible place, and this is the way they lived. It was but actually, when the Beatles came here, they probably thought it was luxury, because when they went to Hamburg, they were staying at the back of a cinema, and they were playing at the Indra Club and the Kaiser Keller Club in Hamburg, staying at the back of a cinema. So, but of course, by the time they met the Rolling Stones, they were staying at the Royal Court, just down at the other end of the King's Road you mentioned earlier, but they came here for a party at 102 Edith Grove. This is the Rolling Stones outside 102 Edith Grove. So this is where they lived, and they're very young. Maybe the first picture actually with Bill Wyman on the left, and Charlie Watts had just joined the group as well. Is on the right. They'd only just joined the group. So probably the first pictures of Bill and Charlie with the Rolling Stones. So Edith Grove is very different to Cheney Walk, for instance. Not far apart geographically, but in terms of luxury, I mean, poles apart basically.